Good evening, or as I like to call it, the time of day when my brain starts shutting down. What can I do for you? The joys of turning your pixelated art into real-world bucks. So, you've ventured into the wild world of selling user-generated content, UGC, and now you've got a tax form. Welcome to adulthood, where even your virtual success requires real-life paperwork. First things first, you'll want to figure out what kind of tax form you receive. If it's a 1099, that's the IRS giving you a friendly nudge saying, "Hey, we see you made some money. Let's talk about sharing it." Here's a game plan. 1. Keep score. Organize any receipts or records related to your UGC sales. This includes any costs you incur to create or sell your content. Every little bit counts, much like collecting coins in a platformer. 2. Calculate your earnings. Add up your sales. If you made a profit, congratulations. You're not just a gamer, you're a mini entrepreneur. 3. Consult the manual or a tax professional. If math isn't your strong suit or you're confused about how to report your earnings, it might be worth consulting a tax professional. They're like the ultimate NPCs for navigating tax dungeons. 4. File your taxes. When the time comes, ensure you report your income correctly. Ignoring it is like trying to beat a boss without a strategy. Spoiler alert, it's not going to end well. 5. Celebrate responsibly. Once you've dealt with taxes, feel free to reward yourself with some gaming time. Just remember, you can't buy loot boxes with tax money. Good luck, and may your tax return be ever in your favor. The 1099K, the magical form that turns your gaming side hustle into a delightful encounter with the IRS. Let's break it down, shall we? 1. Payer's information. This is where the entity that issued the 1099K, like PayPal or a gaming platform, shows their name, address, and taxpayer identification number, tie in. Basically, it's their way of saying, "Hey, we're the ones giving Uncle Sam a heads up about your little side gig." 2. Recipient's information. That's you. Your name, address, and TIN are here. Make sure they spell your name right, because we all know how important it is to see your name in print, especially when it's tied to taxes. 3. Account number. If you have multiple accounts with the payer, this number helps differentiate them. Think of it as your secret gamer ID, but for tax purposes. Exciting, right? 4. Gross payment amount. This is the total amount of money you receive through the platform. Yes, even that shiny loot you sold counts. No, you can't deduct the value of your emotional trauma from losing a rare item in a trade. 5. Number of transactions. This tells you how many separate transactions contributed to that gross payment amount. Because sometimes, selling your beloved items is a full-time job, and the IRS wants to keep track of your hustle. 6. Federal income tax withheld. If someone decided to take a slice of your pie right off the bat, like if you had backup withholding for some reason, it'll show here. But let's be real, the IRS usually doesn't give out free samples. 7. State information. If your state demands a slice of your gaming profits, because of course they do, this section will have details about that. They love to put their hands in your pockets, don't they? 8. State income tax withheld. Similar to the federal side, if your state took some taxes out, this number will show up here. Because who doesn't love paying taxes on imaginary pixie dust? And there you have it, the magic of the 1099K. Explain. Just remember, you're going to need to report that income on your taxes, or the IRS might come knocking and they don't take "I was just gaming" as an excuse. Happy filing? The elusive 1099K form, the tax equivalent of the surprise guest at your party, uninvited and just a little awkward. But fear not. Here's what you do. 1. Check the accuracy. Ensure all the numbers are correct. You don't want Uncle Sam knocking on your door with a magnifying glass. 2. Report it. If you've earned income through platforms like PayPal, Venmo, or any other wonderful money-sending service, you need to report that income on your tax return. Yes, even if you thought you were just borrowing money from yourself. 3. Keep records. Hold on to that form. You'll need it in case the IRS decides to play a game of "let's see that form again." 4. Consult a tax professional. Because let's face it, none of us have ever been able to figure out our taxes without a little help from someone who knows what Schedule C really means. In short, treat it like a guest you can't ignore. Acknowledge it, report it, pray it doesn't lead to any awkward conversations with the IRS. The glorious 1099K, the form that says, "Congratulations on making money, now let's complicate your life." Basically, if you receive a 1099K, it means you've had transactions through third-party networks like PayPal or Venmo, and the IRS has noticed. This form reports your gross payment transactions, which means you get to play a fun game of how much did I really earn? How it affects your taxes depends on whether you're a business owner, freelancer, or just a super generous friend who gets reimbursed for group dinners. If you're earning income, which I assume you are since they're sending you this form, you'll need to report it on your tax return. Remember, just because you have the 1099K doesn't mean all that money is taxable, especially if you have expenses to deduct, so keep track of those receipts. In summary, a 1099K means you need to pay attention and possibly consult a tax professional, unless you enjoy playing tax audit roulette, in which case, have at it. Oh, absolutely. Besides the delightful joy of filling out forms, there are a few more gems to keep an eye on as you navigate the wild world of side hustles and gig jobs. 1. Deductions. Galore. Keep track of all your business expenses. You can deduct costs like supplies, home office expenses, if you're working from your couch, and maybe even that fancy coffee you bought to fuel your creative genius. 2. Self-employment. Tax. Surprise! If you're earning money from your side hustle, you may owe self-employment tax. Think of it as a fun little fee for being your own boss. Yay for adulting. 3. Estimated taxes. If you're making enough, you might need to pay estimated quarterly taxes, because who doesn't love sending money to the IRS multiple times a year? It's like a really boring subscription service. 4. Record keeping. Keep receipts, invoices, and any relevant documents. Think of it as your adult version of a treasure hunt, but instead of gold coins, you'll find deductions. 5. Sales tax. Depending on what you're selling and where you are, you might need to collect sales tax. It's like being a mini tax collector, just without the badge and the power trip. 6. Health insurance. If you're self-employed, you might be able to deduct your health insurance premiums. Because staying healthy is a real money saver. Remember, taxes can be about as fun as watching paint dry. But armed with this knowledge, you can tackle them like a pro, or at least with a bit more flair. Good luck, and may the tax odds be ever in your favor. The classic how to end a conversation dilemma. You could go for something simple like catch you later, alligator, or if you want to be a bit more dramatic, try may the odds be ever in your favor. Just remember, avoid anything overly sentimental unless you want to make everyone uncomfortable. Happy sign off!